Hey there, it's Rich with Rich Baum Photography. I am an interiors photographer. I do real estate, commercial. I do residential real estate. I shoot professional sports. I do weddings, but my main focus is real estate photography. And my focus of these tutorials is just day-to-day listings that we would all have, and just problems that may seem really simple to some, but others have issues. And I've gotten a request several times to do exterior shots, a tutorial on how do I do exteriors. Well, here we go. Let's just jump right into it. I take this for granted because I think of exteriors as I just pop them off and I can do 20 exteriors in 2 minutes. And I just go and shoot them, and it's really easy and no problem. So let's just start with a few shots that we may all encounter. This is a shot the agent really wanted because they wanted to show the space here that you could sit under here, and you can see the nice beautiful view here. You could put tables under here, a lot of good space here. So let's just bring it back into the way it was. Hold on a second. There we go. Let's go to reset. Okay. So I'm going to reset it. And you can see here that is, at least I'd call it lackluster. But this is straight out of camera, and this is properly exposed for the middle. Underexposed here and underexposed here. I guess we could have increased the exposure here, but we can make this work in Lightroom. I'm just going to do all my work today in Lightroom, not even going to worry about Photoshop. So I've got this shot right here, and let's just start by doing the real estate full bump or my presets. I'm going to show you how I do it with the preset bump. And by the way, I did a flash pop up here. It didn't really work because you can see flashing off of dark wood really, it just sucks it up and the light doesn't really work. So I'm just going to start by taking that flash pop out because I want a neutral shot here. So there we go. Okay, I used my adjustment brush for that. So it's right here, I've done my basic fix, which really helped a lot, but I'm going to increase a few things. First thing I'm going to do is to increase my exposure a little bit. There we go. And you can see here my bump, all it is increase the shadows, decrease the highlights, bring down the blacks, bring up the whites. I'm going to even bring them up a little more. Okay, and now I can add a little bit of vibrance, and I might add a little bit of red. There we go, of warmth. So the only problem I've got here is I'd like a little more exposure under here. So I'm going to go at a selection of the selected brush, the localized brush, adjustment brush, and I'm going to go a little bit, half a stop, and I'm going to bring the flow down to about 70%. And all I'm going to do here is go add a little bit of exposure in here. Okay, and bring it down a little bit down here, a little bit in here, and there you go. I mean, it literally would take me a minute to do this shot, real time. Okay, actually I've got a little bit too much here, so I'm going to do a new adjustment brush. Let's go here, new. I'm going to bring this down just slightly. I'm just going to bring it in here, bring it down a little bit. A little less sourcey looking. There we go. Okay, so I got the shot. I'm quite happy with it. And let's just go into the grid mode, and let's go into X and Y. Oops, I'm sorry. I want to go back into the develop mode, and I just want to go Y and Y, compare the two. So you can see here where we started, where we finished up. Doesn't take much time at all. I was lucky to have a nice, beautiful sky here, but just a little bit of punch adds a lot to this here. Add a little bit of color here and add a little bit here because you really do want to see what's under here. And the agent loved it, and that is okay with me. So I'm going to go back here and go on to the next shot. Now, I want to show you on this shot. Okay, let's go on this shot, and I want to compare two shots. This is the composition I went with. This is the finished product, and I'm fine with it. Don't worry about the grass. We're in California. People accept this, and actually this looks pretty good compared to some lawns. But in California, we got a drought, and I don't really do a lot of changing unless I get requests. And if I was going to add a little bit of green to this grass, it would be minimal because I don't want to misrepresent the location, the house. So I could have either done this shot or here's another angle, which now this is just so you know, this is up about 8 or 10 feet on my pole. I have a pole, painter's pole I use, which is very effective, and especially here. One thing I really want to say is I'm going to add a little bit of exposure to here. I did not use this. I did not use this shot, and I'll tell you why in a second. But I want to add a little bit of foliage to frame the picture. And here I'm actually using a little less framing. But here's a big deal. Look at over here in this shot. Now I am covering the angle covers the garage, but I chose it because at this angle, which I really like this angle, I can see all these cars and the electrical box here. It just isn't working for me. So I went with this and I'm super happy with this. And we're just going to go back to reset. Okay. And now you're going to see what it looked like. Here it is straight out of camera. Look at it full frame. It's just looking not great. So what we do is we add our special sauce, our real estate full bump, which helps a little bit, but I'm going to bring it up. And the only thing downside about this whole thing is sometimes it makes it look a little HDR-ish. You don't get the halos because I'm not doing HDR, but it is making it look a little not as many shadows, but that's okay because my clients like it. The only thing I can really say about this now is it looks a little blue. The Sony tends to be a little bit of blue. So let's go here, red, great. Okay, so let's just go a touch, more. Okay, there we go. 15, actually that's the same as it was. I like this a lot. I'm not gonna touch the sky. It is a little bit bright up there, so I'm gonna go down to manual perspective lens correction, and I'm gonna bring down the vignetting. There we go. So I had a little bit of vignetting. Anyway, there you go. I like it, and it works for me, and the agent loved it. And here we go. So let's do the next photo. I'm trying to keep this simple and fast. Okay. So here is a non-finished version, I think. Yeah, this is straight out of camera, and it's okay. You know, it's nothing great. I will say I have a little bit of perspective issues, distortion going on. This is a symmetrical umbrella, but you can see here it looks just so long here. So I'm guilty of that, and this chair looks so much bigger than here. So if I had moved back, I don't know if I had room to move back. I shot this with 12 millimeters on a crop sensor, so it's the same as 24 millimeters, equivalent to a full frame. What I could have done is I could have moved back. If I could have moved back, and I could have moved back 10, 15 feet, and if I had zoomed in with maybe 24, 30 millimeters, it's really going to make this look less distorted. So it bothers me a little bit, but not enough to really fix it. So we're cool with this, and all I'm going to do is my real estate full bump. There we go. Added a lot of pop. Okay, let's look at before and after. There we go. A little bit of pop. So hold on, let's get rid of this. Okay, what I want to do here is add a little bit of exposure. Okay, and a little bit blue as always. So just a little bit of red, not much. Okay, I'm actually going to bring down that exposure. I'm like a half a stop over. Anyway, so I like this. I think I fixed a little bit of distortion. Let's play with the distortion a minute though. If I bring up this distortion like here, you can see it's screwing up down here, granted, but it's sure making this umbrella look better, and it's making this chair look better. So let's go back down to 0. Okay, look at the umbrella go up. Really help with the distortion, but not enough to do something with. I could bring it into Photoshop and fix it independently, and but I'm okay with this. So the only thing I might do, I'm not sure if I'm going to do it, a little bit of adjustment brush. Flow is 71, opacity 100. I'm just going to nice soft brush. Just going to brush in a little bit of little clicks of exposure. There we go. Okay, that added a little bit, and maybe a little bit of saturation to that clicks. It's not really showing much. So I was happy with it. Okay, so I'm cool with this. Looks good. Showing you some nice lifestyle. A couple of things. Always make sure, again, this chair is distorted, so I know it. But always make sure that your chairs are straight. This was staged by the agent. Gives a little lifestyle, which is definitely nice. We put the shade up here, this cover up here to cover whatever was behind there. I think it was a pool, not a pool pump, but some kind of air. Oh, it was an air conditioner. So we made that happen because we didn't want to see the air conditioner, and it just they re-landscaped it. Looks really nice and clean. Now I could have raised my camera angle to lose these two satellite dishes, but I'm not going to do anything about it because I can't take them out because they're really there, and we're dealing with an ethics thing. So anyway, I like the shot. Let's move on. Okay. Now, here is a shot that I don't usually deal with a lot, but this is a balcony outside a bedroom, and really wanted to emphasize this. The agent was like, don't you forget to get this shot. So what I did now was, I think if I remember correctly, it was a couple of weeks ago, I think I popped the flash up into this ceiling here, and I think it was probably my Streaklight 360 because it would have needed more than a speed light would have given me. And I really exposed for the blue here. I really for the scene so the view. So I had to expose. So I think I was at ISO 250, 1/80th of a second, f8 probably. But let's bring this down to reset. Go back to start. Okay, so this is actually really, really good to show you what we can pull out of a raw file. You know, a lot of times agents want you to pull things out your butt. Well, you pull things out your raw file. So let's just start with my real estate bump, my full bump, my special sauce. And there we go. Okay, let me see if I can remember what I did to make this. So first of all, I've got in my special sauce, I'm going to even move my highlights more and my shadows more. So I'm completely both directions. Okay. Then I'm going to just bring down the exposure right to about here. Okay. So I need a little bit of help. Still, I'm actually going to bring this exposure up slightly. I'm going to come down here and try something. I think I used dehaze here. So I'm bringing this here, and then I'm going to raise my exposure up to match this. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and it's very blue. Let's bring it here. Okay, so fixing the white balance. So let's go back to where it was blue here. Okay, so fixing this kind of stuff is really just playing around. It helps to have the experience, but really I'm winging it like you are. I'm going to put the white balance tool here. This is kind of a neutral color. So it turned it a little more red like I was going to do it. So I'm kind of on track here. Next thing I want to do, actually I'm going to bring a little more red warmth, and I'm going to bring down the exposure a little bit. So it's looking better. Now what I'm going to do is first of all, I'm going to take out a little bit of yellow saturation. Okay. Then I'm going to add in a little bit of blue saturation, but I'm really going to use the luminance to take down the sky. Okay. Now I'm going to use my local adjustment brush, and somehow I don't think I'm getting this as good as it was before, but that's okay. I'm winging it with you, winging it with my friends. Okay. I'm not afraid to show you. I'm just a guy. We all make mistakes, and I do all of my tutorials live. So you're seeing my mistakes along with my successes. So anyway, so I'm bringing it up a little bit here. Okay. Now I'm going to bring it a new adjustment brush here. I'm going to bring it down a little bit. There we go. So let's just bring this down a tad. Okay. And this is all just freehand. Okay. Let's bring it down here. There we go. A little in here. A little in here. Okay, a little bit in here. And a little bit in here. So, God, it almost looks like an HDR. I do apologize. So what I'm going to do is take out a little bit of blue saturation. We'll lose a little bit of sky, but it's okay. There we go. Looks a little more natural. And let me just increase the exposure a skosh. There we go. Okay, so we've got a little bit. Let me try a little more dehaze. There we go. Yeah, that dehaze worked. Now be careful with the dehaze because a little bit goes a long way. Now though, the dehaze is also causing, see, it's overall, it's making it nice. It's actually though, I'm going to try something else. I'm going to add a little bit of contrast to here. Contrast. And the contrast is not doing what the dehaze did. So let's go back down to dehaze. Let's just dehaze it a little bit. I'm just dehazing it a little bit. There we go. Okay, I'm going to go with this. I'm not super crazy about it. Actually, I've got to fix one thing. You may have noticed I'm going to fix my vertical. Here we go. Okay, vertical's fixed. I'm going to do constrain crop, and I'm actually going to crop it in just an inch to get rid of that little seam on the right. There we go. Okay, so we've got this here. Let's look at it. And you know what? I'm pretty happy with this. A lot of things you could do. You could do 2 exposures and mask it in. But this is just showing you that, you know, I mean, geez, what can we do before and after? Okay, there you go. Let's do one more. Here we go. Let's go here. Come on, what is going on? What did I do here? Ugh, live television. Never mind. Let's go here. So anyway, boy, how do I get out of that? Well, you're seeing it here first, guys. Rich Baum, very embarrassed. Oh, you know what? Hold on a second. I'm just going to go backwards. I don't know what I hit. There we go. Okay. There we go. Anyway, I've gone way too much time on this picture, but you get the impression. So that's how we got it. Now I'm going to do one more shot of something that I wanted to show. And this is a Twilight Shot. And this is a really nice shot. I like this. The agent really wanted it. I've got a little bit of blowout here, but I'm cool with that. It doesn't bother me. It could maybe be a little bit brighter, but let's just start here. And I'm actually going to do something I should have done before. Let's do create a virtual copy. So we have a before and an after. So now you can see the finished product. Here it is. And I'm quite happy with this picture. A couple of things I want to point out. I really did try to make these symmetrical, and I'm using a Cam Ranger, or actually on this I'm using a remote app called Sony Remote, so I can do remote tethering. But I can be out here moving chairs and see it in the screen how I want it, so I can get my chairs perfect. And it's very important. I got this almost perfect. It's a little off, but I'm not worried about it. So anyway, I think it's important to make it symmetrical, make it look really good. So let's set this back to 0 to reset. So this is just showing you how much you can pull out of a single exposure. Okay, here is the shot right out of camera. And the reason it's so underexposed, among other reasons, is because I wasn't going to put in the fire. I didn't want to deal with it. So basically all I'm doing, and it would have been really easy to do the fire, all I'm doing here is exposing pretty much for the fire. And right now I'm just going to do my full real estate bump. And actually it came out really nice doing this. And then let's just raise the exposure up here. Okay. Let's bring the saturation of the blue up just a little bit and the luminance down a little bit. And I want to add in the blue. I want to add in, make it a little bit red, purple. Okay, I'm just going to make it darker, a little bit darker. There we go. Not too much. Okay, I'm going to bring in the whites a little bit. And I'm just going to do a little adjustment brush. If you've watched my Twilight Shots, you can see what I do. I'm going to do 100% flow. Where are we? Hold on a second. Sorry. Here we go. 100% flow right here. Okay. Let's just do a little pop, 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 pop. There we go. You can do as little or as much as you want pop-wise, but, and actually now I can maybe take out a little bit of exposure. There we go. Very happy with it. I've got a little bit of clarity in there, a little bit of blacks, just my special sauce. And don't need any dehaze. Adding a little bit there, but I don't want any dehaze. I don't really recommend dehaze. It goes a long way. But you know, one thing we can do here is to let us unselect this and let us find another exposure for the fire. Okay, so let's see if we were to do this. Okay, this is a shot we're going to use, and let's see this fire. Do we like this fire or we like that fire? We like this fire? Nope. Like that fire? Nope. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try and mask in, and I'm winging it here. This is total live television. Here, okay, so let's just do one thing. Let's give it a full bump. Okay, let's go up here and let's just increase the exposure. Okay, so let's go and highlight both those shots. I've got this one and I got this one. They're both pretty close. Okay, I'm going to edit in layers in Photoshop. Okay, so I'm just going to mask in a little more flame. I'm going to see if it helps at all. It may not even work. Now I can do this because my shot was on a tripod and it's just like all my other tutorials. Okay, we don't want this shot, so let's wait till the image comes in. Boy, this is getting to be a long tutorial. Okay, here we go. Come on. I'm boring myself. Let's get rid of this. Okay, good. So here we are. This is the image, the original image, or is this? No. There, wait. This is the original one that we want to use. So I'm going to put up here the flame that we want to bring a little bit more of it into it. And I got it on top and it's highlighted. And I'm going to go down here and I'm going to go to add a layer mask. I'm going to hold down Option and I'm going to click. So we see the image we're going to mask in the other flame into. We want to make sure this is white as always. So I can hit X. Actually, I can, hold on a second, excuse me. Okay, I'm just going to hit X to bring that to paint. I've got my paintbrush selected here, and I've got a opacity 100%. And I want to do about 10% here. Okay, so let's just start masking in a little bit of flame. Okay, see if it is any better. It may not be any better, and I'm just doing this for fun. Okay, so let's bring it up here. There we go. Okay, it's bringing in more flame some places and it's taking out flames other places. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, so we can take which part of each flame we want. And then I'm going to go X. I'm going to bring it back a little bit here. Nope, actually I like it better the way it was. So, there we go. Little bit more flame, and it can show you how you can, completely add in flame or not add in flame. And the other thing is this is blown out, so I could have absolutely used an exposure just for the flame. Like here, it's a little less exposed, but it's still got a little overexposure. So I'm dealing with the shortcomings here, and I'm okay with it. A little bit overexposed, but it's fine. And if I had thought about it, I would have done an exposure just for this part of the flame so I could have masked it in and it wouldn't be overexposed. So one other thing we can do, I'll just show you. is to come in here and we can clone. Actually, I'm going to go Command E to flatten this. And I'm going to go here with this. I'm going to do 100%. And I'm going to do, let's do 50% here, 50% flow. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this here and I'm going to, whoops, sorry. I'm going to do the clone again. I take this right here and I'm going to bring it here. Okay, so there are a lot of things you can do. This is not super good. But if you wanted to take out the blown out area, you know, and flame is okay because it's not a specific thing. You know, we're dealing with, there we go. And I can take it out there, and here we go. So it's a little less blown out, still blown out here. I could do the same thing. Anyway, so I'm bringing it back into Lightroom, and there you go. Okay, so this has been my tutorial on exteriors. Let me go here. And I'm going to do one more exterior, and it's just going to be to show you how fast and easy I can do it. I'm just going to pick something that looks like it's a little difficult. Okay. Oh, here, I'll do a commercial shot. Here we go. Let's see what I used. I used here. Okay. Let's go here. Here's a shot. Then this is interesting because this is commercial. And they're trying to lease out this home goods. And I'm hired by the company in Southern California to come up and shoot the local things. Anyway, we got a shot here. And as you can see, I have many shots. These are all pole shots. I've got cars. I've got people here. Well, these people want people in the shots. And I'm not worried about getting releases signed by these people. These are going to be internal shots. They're not going to be advertisements. But they want to see that there's people in the place. There's people walking. We're not worried about shopping carts here, but we want a nice looking, pleasant shot with blue sky, and we want to have cars in the parking lot, make it look like it's busy. You can see here I've got this shot. I got this shot. They want to show all the aspects of it. I've got this shot, which is showing way back. They want to see there's a lot of parking lot. So don't think you have to get it perfect for you. You know, each shot has its own merit, but I really am going for, I'm not going to clean any of this up. This is fine for this kind of a shoot. And I wouldn't say this is fine if you were doing it for a designer or anything else. You would not want any of this stuff here. But for my shots here, this was exactly what they want. So I'm just going to go here again, and I think this is the shot I want. I'm just going to go into reset, and this is straight out of camera, and all I'm going to do is do my real estate bump, and I'm going to give it a little bit of warmth. And I actually think I've got it set on a little bit of vignetting. I don't know what the heck's up with that. So I'm just going to go here, and I'm going to eliminate the vignetting here. And now I'm going to add in a little bit of blue saturation to make that sky pop even more. Bring it down a little bit. Boom. I'm going to go into here, and I'm going to do a little bit of dehaze to give it a little bit of sharpness. Okay. And I'm going to go here, and I'm going to just increase the exposure. And there you go. We have it here. And I think that all the verticals, everything I'm going to check. Oh, there we go. Auto correction for verticals upright is fine. Anyway, there you go. The client, as always, loved it. I've been shooting for a long time for them, so I know what they want, and they know what I give them. So anyway, here it goes. This is up about 15 feet. So the pole, again, comes in handy. And anyway, this is Rich Baum in Sacramento, California, saying, thank you for watching. Please send me your requests and keep watching, and really aspire to shoot better, aspire to shoot smarter. You'll get faster and get better. And definitely, if you're not using lights, use lights. But exteriors, you don't really need to use them all the time. Talk to you later. See you later. Bye.